Hi guys, I'm Al and I'm in my board game era. And today we are going to talk about all of the things we got for Christmas. Yep, that's right. It's a Christmas haul. And I can't wait to talk about all of the exciting new board games we got for Christmas and the board gamey thing we got. Accessory thing, board game accessory. Let's go with accessory. Can't wait to share it all with you. First on our haul is we're going to talk about the beautiful elephant in the room. That is this bad boy right here. Oh, ain't she a beaut? This is the brand new board game mat that we have. It is from boardgametables.com and it is glorious. I was skeptical. I was like, it's a little bit more money than I'd like to spend on an accessory. But let me tell you, it makes playing games. I mean, games are fun. You can play games anywhere. I've played games in an airport, and it doesn't really matter. It's about the game for sure. But if you can play in a little bit of luxury, it just makes it that teeny bit better. And this makes it a lot teeny bit better. I don't even know why. It's easier to pick up cards. Things don't go bouncing off tables. It just holds everything nicely. And we got 5 people around this bad boy, 2 on each side, 1 on the end. We probably could have had another person on this end if our table would have allowed that, but the table we were playing on was much larger than this one. But it is 3 by 5, I believe, which is the medium version of this, and there is a larger version, but it's a lot harder to find. And honestly, this is probably going to be big enough for most tables or most gaming parties that you're going to have. So I would say if you're on the fence about it, pull the trigger. This was not in vain. No, this is not going to be one of those purchases we ever regret. My husband has said several times how much he's loved this board game mat since we've got it for Christmas, and it is going to be something we use every single time we pull out a board game. So that's the first item on my haul list. Okay. Our first game on the board game haul of Christmas 2024 is Honey Buzz and its beautiful counterpart, Honey Buzz, the Fall Flavors expansion. Now, we've played this game twice so far. It is so stinking cute. The little beeples. Yeah. You heard me. Beeples. How freaking adorable is that? It's top tier cuteness. They are terribly upset that the animals in the wildlife keep coming around and stealing their honey, and they're like, no more. It is our time to shine, and we're going to start making some bank on the honey that keeps going out the door. So you are working on your hive, building out your hive, and you activate actions in your hive when you complete like a honeycomb circle, as a circle, kind of a circle. And then you get to bring in nectar into your hive, which helps you produce honey. And then you can go to the market and you can fulfill orders, and you can even sell the honey, just regular honey sales. I guess that's a thing at markets for bees. And you get money, which counts towards points at the end of the game. There's also different queen contests that you play against the other players to be either the first one to complete the goal or towards a goal for the end of the game. So cute, so much fun. Not hard to learn, not hard to set up, not hard to teach. It was a quick game to play, and we all loved it. Now, the fall expansion brings in new fruits versus the pollen and honey that are in the regular base game. Haven't played it yet, but from what I understand, it expands the gameplay. So that's pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to playing that. And that was our first game on the haul, Honey Buzz and its Fall Flavors expansion. All right, number 2 on this board game haul is Five Tribes. So 5 Tribes is an interesting meeple placement. I think it's a meeple placement. Is that even a mechanism or a mechanic? It is in this game, I will tell you. It is fairly simple, and we're like, oh, seems like a simple concept. You pick up the meeples from one tile and you just drop them along until you get to the very last tile where you can drop a meeple, and that meeple has to match the color that's already on that last tile. Seems easy enough. It is so thinky. You have to plan out your moves. You have to hope that the other people playing aren't thinking about the same moves that you want to make. And you're doing all of this to activate those meeples of the same color that you dropped on the last tile. So each meeple color has a different action. One of them is an assassin. Super cool. You get to delete another meeple off of a different square. And the benefit of doing that is because if you can pull all of the meeples off of the tile at the end of your little droplets, you get to claim that tile as your own. And that gets you points at the end of the game. Some of the meeples will allow you to buy gin, which give you special powers that are ongoing throughout the game, or perhaps some endgame points. Other meeples will allow you to get money, which counts for points at the end of the game. Days of Wonder, they don't put out anything that is not just amazing. Ticket to Ride, Heat, 5 Tribes, such a good game. It is a small footprint, which is great. It doesn't sprawl out across your table, but you have this handy dandy mat. If it did, if it wanted to, it could, but it doesn't though. Makes you want to go on vacation somewhere warm and sandy. And it is a fun, fast game. Easy to learn, quick to play, fun for the whole family. That is my second board game on this Christmas haul, 5 Tribes. Board game number 3 on our Christmas haul video is Parks. Parks is a little bit of an older game, been around for a few years now, and we've played it twice, maybe 3 times at a board game cafe, and we're like, this is a good game. Why don't we have this game in our collection? And we just kept forgetting to purchase it. I was like, oh no, we're not going another year without this game in our repertoire. And it, once again, did not disappoint. We played it yesterday. Our kids played with us, 10 and 12. Our 10-year-old kicked our butts. It is beautiful. The art in this game is sensational. You are hikers along a trail and you are visiting different parks. And by visit, you have to gain resources that match the resources on the park that you're going to visit, which essentially means you're purchasing that park card with the resources that you collect along your hiking trail. And you can turn those resources in to take pictures, and you can reserve parks so that nobody else can get them. There's little bonuses on certain seasons. It is more game than you think would be in this tiny little box, and so much fun. There's a lot of expansions that might be coming into the collection as well, because I think once you start playing this game, you're like, I might as well just 2 feet all in and get everything, because it's a great game and it's not super combative. It's fairly chill. It's honestly, you're just moving your little hiker meeple. You take your resources, you look at the beautiful cards, you try to get the most points at the end of the game. And if you can do that, great. If you can't, you still had fun playing. It was great. We had a ball playing it and highly recommend. And that is our 3rd game on the list, Parks. Okay, 4th on our list is kind of an expansion-ish, but each of them come with their own set of lengthy rules that you need to learn and know and love before you can actually play the game successfully. I mean, really, this game, it's hit and miss if you're playing successfully or not. There's so much to it, but man, is it a great game. And that is a whole bunch of gear locks for Too Many Bones. Yes, we have dived deep into the realm of Too Many Bones, and that is because it is a freaking amazing game. You are different characters. Everybody has an asymmetric ability. You all have your own set of dice. The production of this game is insane. The quality is out of this world. You do pay for that quality. Worth it though. Not as only is the game wonderful, but the parts of the game are wonderful. So you play as a gearlock and you roll dice, boss battler type game, not type game, it is a boss battler. And you essentially build up your character along this adventure. And it happens over the course of however many days your big boss says that you have to complete your adventure. You're building up your skills to compete against that boss at the end of your adventure. So the base game of Too Many Bones comes with 4 gearlocks. It's a 1 to 4 player game. And everybody loved their character that they started off with. And it just made us want to dive into more characters and see what else is out there. I will admit my character was not my favorite, but it was enough that it allowed me to enjoy the game. But I just wanted like a little bit more fighting in my list of skills. And some of these new characters, they definitely delivered on that. This first one is Riffle. He is only available at certain times of the year. I believe only on Black Friday up until the end of the year. And he has this cool mechanic where he plays cards from his hand, kind of like a Gambit-ish, you know, a little play on Gambit with his cards from the Marvel universe, in case anybody's a big Marvel fan out there. You play cards out from your hand, which help battle against the bads that are coming up in your adventure. And then you also have your own dice skills that you build up as well, which each come with different abilities to increase the gameplay with your cards and to fight the baddies along the way. My son is loving playing as Riffle, and it looks like a lot of fun. I might have to like borrow Riffle one time, maybe just try him out, see how it goes. The next gearlock that we got, Nugget. Now, this little baddie, not bad, she's good, but she's cool. She's like a baddie. She's a treasure hunter. So she is really good at picking up loot, which are different benefit cards that you can get along your travels by defeating certain baddies. She has a wicked longsword and a stabby little dagger that, oof, they do a lot of damage. And she's so amazing to play with. I am having a ball and I cannot wait to get her to the table more. She's basically all dice, which is great. That's fine. Who doesn't love rolling dice? And most gearlocks are all dice. I think Riffle is one of a few maybe that have a little something extra. And we might be getting to that extra in a minute. Next, we have Polaris. And she is this cute little nerdy geologist. And she comes with this really neat extra for her character. Similar to Riffle, she has something more that she can use to defeat the baddies. She has these little spheres that she can place out on her own mat that mimics the layout of the battle mat. And she can pull them back to her to do damage to the baddies that are sitting on those spheres on the battle mat. Unfortunately, she might deal that damage to her friends as well. But it's about strategically placing them out and knowing how to use the dice that you've collected as skills to mitigate the risk to your counterparts. She seems super cool. We haven't got her to the table yet, but I cannot wait to see what kind of damage and fun she will get up to. Next, we have Carcass. This guy, he's a bit of a rough and tumble kind of looking guy, and that big hook that he has in his hand, yeah, it's for hooking meat onto his belt. Yep, the carcasses of the fallen baddies that he has managed to lay waste to on the battlefield. He's going to use his cards to cook them. He's going to cook them and eat them to at least benefit himself and the rest of the group who he's not eating, but feeding to help boost up their ability to complete the adventure. He seems interesting to play. I'm excited to see where this character goes, how he plays, what kind of benefits come out of these recipes he's going to make for all of us. It should be interesting. We haven't gotten to the table yet, but it is coming. And our last Gearlock we got this year is Static. So Static is a brawler. What's his name? It's a brawler. Yep, he's a brawler. He just likes to fight. But he's also a bit of a pacifist as well, which is a contradiction. I mean, everybody's dealing with contradictions, their personalities, I guess. So this guy, he wants to be chill and calm, but if you rev him up a little bit, he's going to do some serious damage. So he has a certain dice skill set where he meditates and he has inner peace. And then if you push him too far, he does a whole lot of damage to you. And he's got these cool brass knuckles, which send out electrodes to the baddies that he hits. And when a baddie has those electrodes on them, they deal damage to the baddies and the people around him. That's amazing. So cool. I cannot wait to try him. He is probably going to be my next Gearlock that I play with. Very excited to get all of these guys to the table again and enjoy so much more Too Many Bones. And that was our fourth game in our haul, Too Many Bones Gearlocks. Okay, our fifth game in our haul was a gift to me. So excited when I opened it. It has been on my list of should I, shouldn't I, should we, can we, will we game for a while. Mainly because it's a beast. She's a bit of a chonker, and that is A Feast for Odin. Yeah, look at this. It's very heavy. She's not for the faint of heart, and that's why I was wondering if maybe we hold off on this game, because not only is it expensive, but it's also a lot of games. And when my husband was doing research for me and games for Christmas, he watched a lot of videos, and he called me and he's like, hey, so I don't know if you know, but the Feast for Odin has over 60 spots and selections for how you take your turn. 60, that's a lot of choices. He's like, that's very overwhelming. And I was like, yeah, no, that's kind of why I was like, nah, maybe not sure we're there yet. But what he did find in his research is that everybody freaking loves this game, and that once you get past the initial shock of how many options you have to make on your turn, it's really, you pick a lane and that limits the choices that you have, which is great. So Feast for Odin is an Uwe Rosenberg game, and you know, he produces amazing games. Cannot wait to get this to the table. The rule book comes in 3 parts, so a little light reading, you know, which is actually, it's my favorite part. I love reading rules. I cannot wait to get a rule book and just get into all of the nitty gritty details. 60 plus actions are going to take some time to learn and figure out, but I cannot wait to get this to the table and cannot wait to learn all those different actions. So this was our 5th board game in our haul, Feast for Odin. This next one you might recognize from my Games I've Never Played video, and that game is Calico. I did it, guys. I got the cute cat box game, and I've played it. I mean, this one's obviously still in shrink, but we played it at a board game cafe, and I get it. I get the hype. Not only is it stinking cute, it is so chill, and it's fun and puzzly and thinky and bright and cheerful. What more do you want in the game? Not much. That's what I say. Not much more than that. This game was a personal favorite of my daughter's and was on her Christmas list. And I love when they put games on their Christmas list, because I'm doing something right if they want to play more games. So this was on her list. And of course, after playing it, we had to do it. We had to get it. And I'm happy to report that Calico is now on the list of games I've played and would recommend. So that is the 6th game in our haul, Calico. Next on our list of board games from Christmas 2024 is Captain Flip. And it is a flipping good time, let me tell you. It is fast-paced, nothing to it. You're pulling tiles out of the bag and you have to put them onto your board. Big deal. No, big deal. It is, because when you pull it out of the bag, you can decide right then and there if you want to flip it over for the benefits on the back side of the tile. But if you flip it over, it stays. You cannot change it after that unless you get an ability from another tile that allows you to flip. You're like, oh, okay, well, that doesn't sound too difficult, but you have to place that tile in certain order or line them up with other tiles so that you can get the benefits of them and so that it doesn't cause badness to happen to you. There's one there's one tile that if you have 3 of them on your board at the end of the game, you lose. That's it. No bonus tiles, no nothing for you. You're done. Very interesting. A lot of fun, and just a quick, easy kind of in-between games, maybe a party game or a light game to introduce to new players, or just, something you're like, hey, you want to play just a little game? Captain Flip. That's the one you want to play. Very good game. That was our 7th game on our board game haul. Okay, the next game on our board game haul from Christmas is an expansion to a lovely game, the White Castle Matcha expansion. Oh, White Castle. Have you played White Castle? The White Castle? Play it. This tricksy little game, you only get 9 moves in the whole game. And you're like, that's not enough to do what I need to do. And you're right, it is not enough. You are left wanting to do more. But when you can combo on those turns and you're like, oh, if I do this, then I can get that, and I do this. And the first few turns, you're just kind of laying out a little bit of that plan. And then as it gets going, you're like, oh, I am like continuously building and building my turns up. And then you're like, oh, it's over. It's over. This expansion, however, gives you 3 additional turns, introduces some more dice and another section of the board. Very excited to try this with the White Castle. And that is the 8th game on our board game haul. Okay. 9th on our list is Let's Go to Japan. This game looks so interesting. You get to plan a trip to Japan, and there's 2 cities that you want to visit, and for your trip to be successful, you have to hit so many entertainment goals or entertainment actions, different things you want to see along your trip. So food and temples and shopping and all of these things that you would plan in a normal trip, you get to plan or pretend in a board game. And that sounds like a lot of fun to me, because who doesn't like planning? I know it's one of my favorite things to do. And board gaming, another favorite thing of mine. So I'm very interested in seeing how Let's Go to Japan plays. And last but not least on our board game haul is Gaia Project. And it is not another small box, it is a big box again. She's a bit of a beast as well. Not as thick as Odin, but quite long and large. Gaia Project, space. Super fun. Can't wait to go to space. It's basically what I know about this game so far. I watched the Brothers Murph play and I was like, ooh, this looks cool. Essentially, I think you play as a faction with some asymmetric abilities, and you are searching the galaxy for ways to produce on planets. I think you put little houses on planets, and from that you have resources and you build a little engine, and it seems really cool. And we needed more space games in our collection, and this one's a little bit heavier, so I was excited to see that it was available and to add to our collection. So I'll keep you posted on this. I might do a little game review on this one, see our thoughts afterwards. So that's it, guys. Thanks so much for joining me today for my board game haul from Christmas 2024. We have a lot of good gaming ahead of us for this year, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. So if this was enough to get you guys in your board game haul, please like and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time. I just cannot stop being a weirdo. Okay. Now I'm just rambling. Queen contests that you play to win, obviously. That pass against that bod, and you're building up your skills to be able to compete against that. He seems a little gross. That was our 7th game on our board game haul. Hey guys, if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. Maybe 2. I don't even know if you can do that, but you should probably at least give me 1.